marry me. That's public relations. So I got all this from this site, so if you want to look it up. And it pretty much is quite true. I mean, I have to admit, after all these years of being with agents, that's what it takes. Let's go on to the next slide, please, where I can relate my first story. It was about PNR, Philippine National Railways. They were a client, and the president of the company, Mr. Renny Carman, asked me, I write a story about development of Philippine Railways, transportation, all that. So I just mirrored it back to him because it was my first day. I had zero experience. So I just wrote PNR is building a railway to Bicol, and I guess people can ride it. It was that simple because I really didn't know anything at that point. So of course he had to edit it, and I was quite surprised. He was doing it, he could have done it blindfolded. Like he was just typing away and gave a story about economic development, about the good it can do for the people riding to the south and all that. So from there I learned that writing is a learning process. It's not done overnight. It's through many, many experiences, many, many years of being in the media. You get a sense of what the public need to know, what important points you need to get across in your story. Let's go to our next slide, where this gets kind of interesting. My first celebrity interview with Ms. Dawn Zulueta. At that time, our client was Abbott Nutrition, and the product was Gain School, and she was an endorser for that product. So actually, it wasn't me who interviewed her. I had to invite Mr. Isa Red of Manila Standard to meet at the coffee shop, and I was there, of course. And what amazed me was he wasn't even taking notes, maybe just a few lines, because they knew each other. It was such a friendly conversation. And maybe after a week or 2 weeks, it was a full page spread about the importance of motherhood. It was very subtle. PR is not meant to be that in your face, as the description pointed out. It's all about just selling a story, selling how Dawn Zulueta raises her kids and how important it is for good nutrition, and Gain School helps with that. So as we proceed to the next slide, the PR really mainly is about shepherding the media. It's about, if a travel agency helps you navigate going around the world, visiting a country, public relations helps you navigate the media landscape. It's all about pointing you in the right direction of which people to tap to get your message across. So building and maintaining good relations with the media is essential. They are your lifeline. They are the reason you exist. Without the media, they have the most reach. They get to the public many times over than just a personal conversation. So this was sorry, back please. This was our LBC tour with some media friends, and I wish it was glamorous, but as we all know, warehouses are quite hot. So before we had to prepare for that, we had to get towels with the LBC logo, have water, and make sure the media were comfortable. And of course, after that, we fed them at a nice place near the LBC Alabang warehouse. Next slide, please. And how to best survive in PR? You need to have flexibility. Sometimes a story you want to place in the lifestyle section doesn't work out. You gotta create a business angle. The business thing doesn't work, maybe there's a health issue you can raise or some social concern. The reason PR people are called spin doctors is you try to look at different things to talk about. So aside from flexibility, you need discipline. Sadly, this kind of, maybe it's a cultural thing. I give such prime importance on being on time. Because if there's an event and you show up with the media, then why are you in PR? You have to be there before everything happens. So the discipline probably relates to punctuality and being prepared. Like everyone says, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So always be disciplined in getting ready for any event. And the next is creativity. Probably the most important, because that's how you hook your consumers or your media friends and your clients as well. They're after your ideas. What new things can you share? How best can you express the the message of their brand or what their company stands for. You have to make it relatable to a good majority. So the picture I'm going to show is our activation for Converse. Of course, you have the usual, okay, let's have lunch. We'll do the presentation about Converse shoes being more than 100 years old, a fashion icon, and now there's a ladies line. So we invited some fashion bloggers to Makati, and instead of just giving them the usual tour of the store, we set up a studio, a photo shoot for them, care of iSnap Creatives. So after they had lunch, I'll try on the shoes, try on the clothes, and we'll take their picture, and they could post it right on their blog site. So that really made things different and creative because you don't, more than ever, events are pretty much the same thing. You eat, you listen, and you go home. If you can make it more creative, make it more memorable, then your message has more legs in a sense. Next slide, please. So the importance of mentorship. I'm glad you guys here in LaSalle are grateful for your professors and teachers and those who mentor you because it's very, very important. As my number one text says, learn from the best. If you, like I said, I had zero experience in PR, but thankfully through Reddy Herman and his team, I got to learn the ins and outs of it. And that's how I've learned to survive for more than 8 years now. And because of that, because they're good mentors, the next line, eventually, the next line please, eventually be able to learn on your own. Because that's what mentors are meant to do. They're not there forever. After they teach you what you're supposed to know, then go use it, go learn new things. After they taught me, I had to contact other media's outlets on my own. The next picture shows the family. That's Reddy Herman, our president. We always introduce him as the man who handled 2 male presidents and the 2 female presidents who ousted them. So I guess we know who they are. Marcos, Cory, Erap, GMA. Diba? That's his son, Lito. He used to be with our company, but when BMW hired agents and they did a pretty good job, they decided to pirate Lito. And he's been in Singapore for the past 10 years and he handles the region for the BMW group. And the youngest is Alan, who's our president now, and leads the day-to-day operations. So these are the guys who are responsible for mentoring me in what I know about public relations. So here's some sample releases of what we did. As I mentioned, Abbott Nutrition was our client. I'm glad brand management was featured before this because pretty much your lifeline to your company, your clients are the brand managers. They know the brand. So do not pretend that you know more than them. You get your information from them and you help amplify it. Thankfully, Abbott Nutrition opened a new R&D center in Singapore, and this is their manufacturing plant for their pediatric nutrition products. And they invited media from the region, China, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines, and we were fortunate enough to visit this plant in their industrial zone in Singapore. Next slide. Sika is a chemical construction company from Switzerland. They've been here in the Philippines for 20 years, but they've been around for more than 100. So you pretty much have to feature the milestones of the company. It's very important. So people realize, oh, they have staying power, they're reliable, trustworthy. That's an important message for anyone, for that matter. Next slide. This is a very nice story, and I hope we don't have to do this again. For Typhoon Yolanda, Mr. Donut in Tacloban, I forgot how many donuts they produced. They just kept churning out donuts to give away for the typhoon victims. But aside from giving away donuts, from feeding people, you have to help the kids who were traumatized from the natural disaster. So they had like a birthday party, they had clowns and they played. So at least for that moment, the kids forgot that they were in a war zone of sorts. So that was a very nice story to share. And I think these are the stories I enjoy sharing. Next slide is also about Mr. Donut being recognized as the best donut franchise. Awards recognition are very important. It helps amplify that the company is reputable. So most stories about recognition and some milestones, that pretty much is part and parcel of the message of in PR. Next slide. Online is very important nowadays. You still have your newspapers, magazine, TV, traditional media, but because more people have smartphones, more people are surfing the web, bloggers and other online media outlets are the in thing now. To put you guys in the season, Goldilocks has a decorator cake challenge, DYC, Goldilocks decorator cake. So we got some bloggers like Samo. Instead of us inviting them to Goldilocks Shaw Boulevard, we decided we'll bring the party to them so they don't have to face the traffic, they don't have to, take time out of their day. The main thing is to decorate your cake at home. So that's why we delivered a white round cake, a decorator cake kit, and some cake slices that they could enjoy. And here are some of the final products. Sam's entry is in the next slide. A nice snow woman, not a snowman, so Felicia the snow woman. So very creative. Other bloggers like Lilian Yo from the Go Mom decorated with her child. And that's very important. There's supposed to be a bonding experience. Again, as public relations states, it's all about relationships. So the more heartful, as we say, emotional investment bloggers and consumers have with the product, the more staying power it has and the more meaningful it is for them. So there's a nice cake decorated by the daughter and her mom. Also in the next slide is Rina Zamora from Rina's Rainbow. Very nice Christmas balls and poinsettia design, which he enjoyed. Most of the statements were, I enjoyed decorating my cake. And that's basically it. If it's not fun, if it's not, doesn't bring you anything, then why do it? Next slide. This is Jill Bantang from the Food Scout. She's decorating the cake with her nephew, I think. Came out quite nice as well. So, as we proceed to the next slide. The challenges in PR are these difficult clients and or media contacts. Not everyone is nice, sorry. That's the real world. You'll encounter difficult people, but you're in PR, so do not be difficult yourself. Diba? Some clients are quite hard-headed, but you just deal with it, you just go with the flow. And some media people are not as accommodating. Next statement, stolen ideas, to charge and not to charge a pitch fee. Most companies will email a PR brief. This is what we want to happen, what are your ideas for it. Some companies charge a pitch fee that helps protect them from stealing those ideas. But if you want the job, if you want to get the gig, maybe you don't have to charge. You just share the strength of your idea, and hopefully they'll like it. Next statement, delaying payment. I guess it's a problem for everyone. After the campaign's done, after you finish the job, you wonder if you get paid for it. And for most big corporations, because of all the activities, the process takes quite a while, maybe 30 to 60 days. But it's worth waiting if it's a nice retainer that you'll get in the end. And also, the reason I'm showing this about Mango Sapporo, a nice fine dining Japanese restaurant in the Fort, is there's rewards in being in PR. It's all about building relationships with people, not just media, but everyone in general. So the next picture shows our press gathering when the restaurant was really open, and we pretty much filled all the tables. There's Samo again, and Anton Diaz is covered. It's a good mix of bloggers and traditional media. And these are pretty much the people you have to encounter in PR. So, what I've learned, a quote from Albert Einstein, I speak to everyone in the same way. whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university. So don't pretend that copy reporter or low-level media person is not important. Who knows, one day that might be the editor or the producer of the show. So in PR, you're not forced to be nice, you have to be. Diba? You have to treat everyone the same way because you're in public relations. And if they don't like you, that reputation stays. So with that, thank you, Lasal, and talk to you very
Thank you very much, Mr. Nicky Tesoro. This time we're going to ask someone to have someone ask a question. Okay?
The mic, sir.
Please approve.